Echoes in the deep. The night was darker than Eleanor had ever seen. Clouds hung low over the Atlantic, waves like jagged black teeth threatening to swallow the convoy whole. But on the radar screen, green pulses blinked relentlessly, mapping every shadow beneath the waves. Lieutenant Eleanor Graves leaned forward, lips pressed into a firm line. "There," she whispered, pointing at a series of blips converging on the convoy. Her heart skipped. "It's them, the final Wolfpack." Captain Simmons stepped beside her, shoulder brushing hers, a warmth that made her pulse race. "We've seen this before," he murmured. "But this is bigger. They're coordinating better than ever." Eleanor's fingers flew over the console. "We can anticipate them. We've cracked the pattern, the Atlantic code. Now we just have to execute perfectly." His hand grazed hers briefly as he reached for a dial. Eleanor felt the spark, the tension between them sharper than any radar blip. She didn't pull away. Instead, she let it linger, a fleeting but delicious distraction amidst the storm outside. "Focus," she said, voice tight but teasing. "Every second counts. Lives are at stake." "Yes, ma'am," Simmons replied, lips curling into that infuriating, confident grin. But the warmth in his eyes betrayed something deeper: admiration, trust, and something neither dared say aloud. The first attack came swiftly. Blips darted unpredictably, U-boats emerging from the depths to strike. Eleanor traced each pulse, predicting movement with surgical precision. "Depth charges ready," she barked, her voice sharp, commanding. "Set timing 3 seconds apart. Destroyer Alpha, intercept course north." Simmons relayed the orders, leaning over her shoulder, hand briefly brushing hers again. Each touch sent adrenaline, and something else, racing through her veins. She swallowed, forcing herself to concentrate. The ocean was a deadly chessboard, and any miscalculation could mean catastrophe. Below the waves, Captain Lieutenant Brandt realized the Allies were reading him like an open book. Panic flickered in his eyes for the first time. Every maneuver, every evasive action, had been anticipated. "They see us, they know our moves," he shouted to his crew. The first U-boat exploded beneath a precise sequence of depth charges. The radar blips confirmed the kill. A second, then a third. Eleanor's pulse raced, but she didn't stop. She had to maintain control. Simmons whispered advice, brushing past her as he moved from console to console, and she felt that tension, that spark, every time. Hours passed in a blur of action: radar blips, explosions, radio chatter, and storm-lashed waves. Eleanor and Simmons worked in perfect synchrony, anticipating every German move, exploiting every flaw. Occasionally, their fingers brushed over adjacent controls, their eyes meeting for a moment too long, tension coiling between them like a live wire. The final U-boat tried a desperate gambit, a split attack, targeting 2 of the most vulnerable merchant ships. Eleanor tracked each blip, heart racing. Simmons, intercept now, simultaneous depth charges, timing precise. "Got it," he said, fingers flying, eyes locked on hers for a heartbeat. The touch of his hand on her arm, guiding a control, lingered longer than necessary. She didn't pull away, letting the tension and warmth energize her focus rather than distract her. The explosions rocked the Atlantic. The blips vanished one by one. Brandt's Wolfpack was destroyed. The convoy was safe. For the first time, Eleanor allowed herself a breath. Exhaustion and triumph mingled in her chest. Simmons leaned close, voice low, intimate. "We did it. All of them." His hand brushed hers again, deliberate this time. Eleanor's cheeks warmed. "We did," she whispered, heart pounding from adrenaline, and from him. The storm passed as dawn broke, casting pale gold across a now calm ocean. The Atlantic had surrendered to the Allies' invisible eyes. The radar lab was quiet, the green pulses fading as the last of the Wolfpack blips disappeared. Eleanor and Simmons stood side by side, shoulders touching, both aware of the tension that had grown between them over countless hours of danger. Simmons finally spoke, voice soft but loaded with meaning. "You were incredible, all of this, you made it happen." Eleanor smiled faintly, letting her gaze meet his. "We made it happen. Together." Her hand lightly brushed his as she moved past him, a small spark of intimacy lingering in the touch. The Atlantic stretched endlessly, waves calm for the first time in days. The invisible war had been won, at least for now. But more than the victory of technology, more than the destruction of the enemy, Eleanor felt the deeper, unspoken victory. The trust, the connection, the undeniable tension between her and Simmons, forged under pressure, danger, and shared triumph. Somewhere beneath the waves, Brant's remaining forces retreated, shadows fading into the deep. But above, in that quiet, storm-lashed lab, two people lingered in a moment suspended between adrenaline, relief, and desire. Eleanor leaned back against the console, exhaustion heavy in her limbs. Simmons stood close, his hand brushing hers once more, and for the first time, she let herself smile fully, warmth spreading through her chest. "We survived," she murmured. "Yes," he replied, voice low and intimate. "And maybe now, we can stop pretending the tension isn't real." The Atlantic had been tamed, the Wolfpack destroyed, and the invisible war won. But for Eleanor and Simmons, the echoes of the deep would always carry the memory of danger, courage, and the sparks that had flown between them in the green glow of the radar. The ocean stretched endlessly, but for the first time, two hearts had found a pulse as thrilling and unpredictable as the waves themselves.